Welcome to the Free Play Arcade Podcast, live at Let's Play Game Expo. We have the Kumite in Texas stage behind us, and we're having a very special impromptu podcast. But before we get any further, and I introduce my esteemed colleagues, I want to thank you for listening and ask that you subscribe if you want to hear more of the future podcasts of Free Play Arcade, wherever you're listening now. Should be good. We're on all the major services. So let me introduce the owner, president of Free Play Arcade, Corey Hayden.
What's up, guys?
We also have a extra special guest with us, Chad Montgomery, owner of Civil Poor, sponsor of this podcast, sponsor of this amazing tournament that we've almost completed. And, in fact, you can watch in its entirety if you look for it online.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate you guys having me on. This is fun. Yeah. It's been a great day so far.
It has.
Yeah, there's been a lot of hype matches today.
Yeah.
All right, so just by way of background, obviously, we all love Street Fighter 2. Super Turbo is like the best, purest, just beautiful, most beautiful arcade fighting game of all time. And I'll say that. I mean, Garu's great, but Super Turbo is like pure. There's something about it. And so
it's pure fundamentals. Footsies. It's all the good stuff. All the good stuff distilled into this perfect origin story for modern fighting games.
And so since basically you've been employed at Free Play, we've been taking it pretty seriously.
Yes.
And this is like, I think you're now getting really, really good at running these awesome, sick tournaments.
I'm doing my best. I'm trying to keep a low ego
expectations,
about it. Yeah,
and then high. Then you deliver like far beyond.
I try.
I mean, because it's insane because you have a ton of help. You have a ton of volunteers here, and we want to go ahead and say thank you to everyone who makes this possible because this is all.
Couldn't do it without them.
I mean, I think everyone, this is about the passion of the game. This is a pure passion project. This is a game that's old. This is an old fighting game. There's not, you don't have a ton of Kumite in Texas. Normally wouldn't probably not have a Super Turbo
I don't think they would
tournament.
have Super Turbo if it wasn't for us.
But here we are. We brought it Versus City.
They absolutely would not have it on a Versus City on a real arcade setup. They might have it on Super Gun. I doubt it highly. But no one's going to run it quite like we run it.
So this is about as pure as it gets.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. And, I mean, I guess let's take a quick step back. What the heck is Kumite in Texas?
Kumite in Texas. So it's an offshoot of Kumite in Tennessee, which was a fighting game major for many years, over a decade. They started in Tekken. They moved on to other major fighting game events. And, they're trying to expand here in Texas with the esports explosion that's happening in the Dallas area. So they teamed with Let's Play Game Expo and Low Tier City, and I guess by proxy us as well. And we're all coming together to do Let's Play Game Expo, and that's what Kumite in Texas is behind us.
And the Super Turbo tournament is an official tournament on their tournament listing.
That's correct, yes.
We're going to try to lift a 700-pound Versus City onto a stage that's actually much more elevated than any other stage we've dealt with.
You can possibly see it behind us. It is dauntingly high in the air, considering there are two 29-inch CRTs in there.
Yeah, they're 29-inch
tri-safe
beasts. It's a ton of work. We're going to figure that out somehow. And then they're going to put it on. They're going to put Super Turbo on the mainstream.
Absolutely.
For their That's awesome.
On the stage,
that's really cool.
Mainstream, 9 o'clock tonight. So you can, when you're listening to this, you can go check out these top 4 finals that we're going to be basically previewing.
So I guess give me a quick step. Talk about some of these matches. Who's left? Let's go through where we are right now.
Winners bracket. We have Jumpsuit Jesse, one of the longest, most experienced fighting game players of all time. That's true.
Well, yeah. So I was talking to him we're talking a decade plus ago. He was in the game. He was playing. He was one of the he was a top player. He's
been a top Fei Long player since Super Street Fighter 2, not Turbo.
Nice.
So when Fei Long was introduced, he switched to Fei Long from Hyper Fighting. He's been playing it ever since. He is absolutely known.
God, Fei Long's the most annoying character in the whole. Maybe Claw. Okay, not Claw, but he's not as bad as Claw. But
he's mid-tier.
He's so fast. He's annoying.
He's very fast. He can take your life away quite quickly. But he doesn't have fireballs.
I thought you said take your wife away. I was getting
he can also take your wife away. I mean, he's very cute. Very cute.
Fei Long's up to all sorts of stuff, man.
Yeah. Looks slightly like the dragon, but
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jumpsuit Jesse.
Yes. Also, Sean Crane, Sean FPA, as he's changed his screen name to reflect it.
That's awesome.
In the winners bracket, just mowed. I don't know if he dropped a round. Did he? Did you see him struggle at all?
Yes, he actually lost one match. His first match against, I think it was a Claw player. that I didn't know.
Okay.
So Sean did lose one match. He was getting a little bit nervous, but turned it around pretty quick.
Made some adjustments.
And it's been the boxer train ever since. In the losers bracket, we have there's one big one that I don't want to save for last, but who is?
Well, Carlos.
Carlos. So, I mean, that's the big one in my mind. I just can't get over it.
All right, so the Grill Master employee from Free Play Richardson, who is not like an old school Super Turbo player, but has been picking up the game. I mean,
Correct.
he's an old
With
school
all of
fighting
us.
game player. Yeah, and he just kind of joined the community.
He's not
been
that
playing.
old either. That's the
Right.
thing.
Well, right. I mean, the game and him are probably around the same age. I can't even do the math
that's
right
right.
now, but they're
No, you're
probably
right.
around there. That's insane.
And he's
That's
grown to
awesome.
appreciate the game along with us, along with a lot of us. I don't know if you played this
What is he? He
before.
plays boxer too?
He plays boxer
Yeah.
as well.
He's a boxer player.
He's an amazing boxer player, and honestly, his matches have been the ones that I they've had my heart stopping. He beat Yuki Spencer, one of the great third strike players in the country, and I still don't understand how it happened. I mean, what?
Carlos just, when he's not in his own head, meaning he's not doubting himself, I think he can beat just about anybody out there.
Absolutely, yeah. I would not be surprised to see him win outright.
Yep.
He's
I
very
didn't know
good.
I didn't know he was still in the tournament. I walked up and he's like one of my employees. So I was like, "What up, man? I can't believe you're here. This is really cool." And he was nervous. You could tell he was just like super nervous. He was about to play his losers bracket like next to final match, and if he won, he's in the final four. If he loses, he's out. He was like shaking. He was so nervous.
But he has elevated his boxer game. He has been ranked number 2 in the nation at one point in the online.
yeah.
The 30th anniversary.
All 12 of those players that can actually get onto a server. Sorry, I love you, Capcom.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's had to back off of playing that to get the timing right for the real arcade, which is something that's been concerning to Jumpsuit Jesse going forward.
Has he been playing a lot online and it was
Jesse has.
Yes.
Because he doesn't have free play arcade. He lives in Austin.
Aye.
He drove out here.
Oh.
He doesn't have it, so he's been playing there, whereas we've been all playing local matches, and we reversal, whatever. It's just a frame.
What is Imran Acosta's arcade? It's not in Austin, but it's
Texas
near
Gamer
Austin. Texas
Lounge.
Gamer Lounge. We got to
Gamer
make sure
Texas
he
Gamer
hooks
Lounge.
them up. We need to make sure that
Well,
he gets
and to be
a
honest
Super
with you,
Turbo
Jesse
there.
has it in his house.
What? Come on,
Right,
man.
but he doesn't
have
have
the
the
players.
seed, right?
I understand. I understand.
So who's the fourth? I need to know.
Is Doughboy still in?
Yes, Doughboy. Okay,
Ah.
Keith from Seattle is Doughboy. Longtime tournament organizer. Has been out of the game for quite a while.
And he's back in North Texas pretty frequently. I've
Yes,
noticed.
well, he can fly basically whenever he wants to.
Okay.
And whenever we're throwing a major tournament, he's in the area. He's a big supporter of the Super Turbo scene here in Dallas, including buying an extraordinary number of drinks for the players in the
Nice.
spring series.
Nice.
I bought him some drinks last time we went out to repay
Yeah.
the favor.
Wow. I mean, I love to hear that. That's awesome.
No, he's a big supporter of Super Turbo here in Dallas.
All right. So who's the favorite right now? Who do you think is going to win it?
But just
I don't mean to put you on the spot because
looking
obviously this is a
historically-
tight knit community. So
historically across the tournaments, I would say Sean's probably the favorite. But if I'm looking at the whole top four, Jesse's hard to overlook, man. Jesse's just been doing this for like 20 years. And he's a hardened competitor that's been in so many tournaments, and he has no nerves.
Right.
He has no nerves in tournaments.
he's not even feeling it right now. This is just fun for him.
He just enjoys it.
I guess that's the thing. After you do it so many times, it just becomes second nature.
I don't see Sean cracking though.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to see it, and we are seeing. While Jesse has much more experience, I don't recall a great boxer player. I mean, maybe one's going to make me pay the price for saying that in the Houston and Austin area. They have players of all types, but I think of Nick playing Hawk. Like, they have incredible Hawk players. Carlos Vital
Nick
plays
actually has
Chun.
a really good boxer too, though.
He's really good at everything. So,
He is
but
really good at everything.
but what I'm trying to get at is Jesse's not necessarily playing against boxer every day in and day out. All the time.
So
He's not.
what y'all are saying is this is going to be close. This is going to be
It is?
exciting.
Oh, yeah. It's
Anybody
gonna be
could win.
Exciting.
And that's the great thing about Super Turbo in general, though. It is a game that, though generally the cream goes to the top and the best players are able to stand off, there's a lot of variance match to match.
It is a living scene here in Dallas, Texas.
Right.
I mean, just seen by Sean is now in the finals, right? He's new to the game relatively. Carlos
I know.
and then Doughboy and Jesse have been playing for 20 years. So you can rise up in the matter of if you have a local community like we do, and not long at all.
Well, and I think this just shows why everyone should work at Free Play so they can get good at Super Turbo. I mean, think about how much practice Carlos, like in the grand scheme of things, when you think about like historical arcades and everything, Carlos gets to play a ton of matches.
Yes.
All Free Play employees can come to Free Play and play whenever they want when they're not on. So he's there training, getting better.
Well, and
everybody, that's insane
and also everybody wants to play Carlos because Boxer is a top tier character, and he can provide you that practice against a top tier character over and over and over again.
He's never lacking for people to play with. He never. I mean,
people will come out to play him. They will absolutely. So cool. We may be all in Arlington, but Carlos is working the grill in Richardson, so they'll come just for when he gets off duty.
Nice
to come play there because they need boxer training.
That's awesome. I mean, that's like the coolest thing to hear.
Yeah.
All right, so we got finals coming up. It's going to be insane. We're going to have to figure it out. There will be footage available online after the tournament. Is that correct? Are we going to have the?
Yeah, it will be somewhere. You can search the Kumite in Texas top 4 Super Turbo finals for 2018. You'll
it's
find
be
it there,
awesome.
probably in multiple places.
We have the Versus City. You've got the capture device now, so that we're doing direct game feed.
Right.
It is as beautiful as any Super Turbo streaming has ever been.
Yes. And our own Chase Cole and Jeremy Withers will be commentary.
Nice.
For Kumite in Texas.
That's awesome. So, all right. So that's the tournament. Let's talk Civil Pour really quick. Sponsoring the tournament. What is Civil Pour?
Well, I've been in the beer industry for about 7 years now, running Big Texas Beer Fest, biggest beer festival in the state. And it's a seasonal business, right? I only am active 3 or 4 months out of the year.
It's like 24 hours a day for 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, it's
so
very
you were
busy.
like, how can I add some extra stuff to my schedule?
Yeah, I guess I'm a little bit crazy, but we just wanted to be able to provide some good jobs, good people, and Beer Fest doesn't employ anybody full-time. It's all third-party contractors for, a few days.
Right.
So we decided to do a 30-tap beer bar. I fell in love with coffee about 3 years ago, so we're going to do the best coffee program we know how. Panini sandwiches, taking a page out of your book, and some pastries made by local bakers.
That's awesome. So talk to me about the coffee. Because I've done kind of research. I've read your Civil Pour page and everything. Like, you went to like a coffee school. You've like learned about it. I mean, I know you personally, so I know you've been like super into it.
Yep.
And I've had some of your coffee. It's awesome.
Oh, good.
So it's like, I mean, this is like a no-brainer to me. That's going to just be a total success and insanely cool. But talk to me kind of like how you were able to get such a deep knowledge of coffee so fast. Because obviously I'm not really a coffee guy. I mean, I drink it, but I drink black burnt coffee. That's what I just want caffeine. I don't drink the good stuff, but when I know the good stuff when I taste it. Tell me how you learned about it.
It kind of happened to me like beer. It was whenever I was traveling around places, I wanted a place to just kind of relax and forget about what was going on, and I started figuring out that coffee houses were the place to go.
Absolutely, yeah. Nice.
And I would go to different coffee houses, and the quality of the coffee just varied wildly.
Right.
You can go into a mom and pop coffee shop that looks amazing, and the coffee just tastes terrible. And I'm like, what is going on, and why is this coffee bad? Well, eventually, I just started figuring out. I think it's the roaster. I think it's the roaster and the quality of the roast that determines how good the end product is going to be. And there's lots of other things in the way, like the quality of the water, how you brew it, and how you grind it, and all those other things. But if you don't start with a good bean, you're not going to end up with a good quality product.
Well, and what I mean, to the extent I know anything, one of the things I've definitely noticed with all of the different coffee houses in the area, the people who roast their stuff, there can be a lot of variance. Like, there's probably a ton of controls that have to be in roast to roast. Yes. Because that's something I've noticed. I'll go to a place, I'll have the greatest cup of coffee of my life, and then I'll go and it'll taste totally different the next time. Are y'all going to be in-house roasting?
No. That's funny you say that, though. Our house roaster is a coffee roaster out of Garland named Novel.
Nice.
There's like across the street from where Lakewood Brewing is, and they don't have a retail shop where you can go in.
I think I actually know exactly what you're talking about, yeah.
But these guys, I'm telling you, they have it set up where he's got a computer monitor, and he's monitoring his temperature to a 1 degree variance. And, I mean, he's got his computer thermal probe inside his roaster, and he'll freak out if anybody opens his roaster to even bleed off temperature for a second. And this guy he's really a mad scientist with coffee. He knows exactly how every bean needs to be roasted and how long and what temperature. And those guys just do it right. They do it right every single time.
That's what it's about, is finding people who are just crazy about their product
Exactly.
and making it as good as possible because
Like
you know
you guys.
well, we try to. I mean, we're
definitely crazy.
we are absolute madmen when it comes to this stuff. So all right, so you're gonna have okay. This is gonna sound really dumb. What is pour over coffee? I don't understand what this is. I keep reading about it. I've been really busy. You're gonna have pour over coffee. What is that?
It's basically brewing coffee by the cup.
Okay.
Instead of by the batch. So let's say I'm going to have a menu with 5 different coffees on it that rotates all the time, and I'm going to have one from different regions around the world. And each region is sort of known for different flavor profiles. So if you're in Africa, your coffee is going to be typically very fruit forward, more like tea, less roasty, less bitter, maybe a touch more acid in it, just because of the fruit flavors and characteristics. But it's basically brewing coffee by the cup, and we actually have the first pour study in North Texas. It can actually brew 5 different cups of coffee simultaneously. It's a brewing robot, basically.
Nice. Well, yeah,
so it does it the same way every time.
One thing I've seen on your Facebook posts, on your website, is like this is some high tech stuff you're bringing in.
It is,
and not just the coffee though. Your growler machine looks insane.
It's the first one in Texas.
That is the craziest thing I've ever seen. How does it? So you've got a growler machine, and it's like a robot that fills the growler. Is that right?
Yep.
That's insane. So I assume it's just a guess based on my knowledge. So it squirts the CO2 or whatever it's going to do to purge the bottle, and then it fills it. And so it's trying to get the longest possible time out of that growler as possible, right? Keep it as fresh as possible for as long as possible.
Just as good as a production brewery.
Yeah.
So, when a production brewery fills a bottle or a can, they're purging CO2 into the vessel and then filling from the bottom up.
Right.
That gets the beer so it doesn't touch oxygen, because that's the beer's enemy.
Right. Well,
you don't want it to touch oxygen.
So we have what's at this point probably a volume growler bar now in Denton. And we do the bottom up pour, but we don't have any CO2 purge. And we're getting like 5, we've tested a few times. We're getting like 5 to 6 days of top quality. Open it, it still tastes good.
Yep.
So how is this going to be? Are you going to get more time out of it? I mean,
you could go. So this growler filler could technically be. It wouldn't be time efficient, but it could technically be used in a production brewery where if a beer is good for 180 days, the growler fill will be the same.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Now, none of my beers ever last that long, but I can see why people would want it. I can see why that would be awesome. Okay, so robots making coffee, robots making the best coffee, the best beer.
Yep.
So are you going to be hyper local with your beer product? Or are you going to just explore everything?
We are definitely not being hyper local. I love the local scene, and I think it's important for us to support those guys and cultivate the local guys that are doing the beer right. But we're not going to be local just for local's sake. So we're going to be trying to highlight everything that beer can be, whether it's from Belgium or if it's the best beer from the West Coast, or if it's the thing right now is hazy IPAs,
right?
And that's all East Coast stuff.
Right.
So we're going to be featuring lots of that stuff.
Yeah, I think we tapped I won't remember the beer. We tapped a super hazy, super fruity IPA.
I bet it was E-Juice.
No, it wasn't E-Juice.
It wasn't
E-Juice? I think we also tapped E-Juice. I can't remember what it was, but sold out an entire half barrel keg in a day.
Wow.
And this IPA was like 3 days old, and so within 4 days from the brewery, it had been completely consumed. The craziest thing. And those things are so hot. Everyone wants them. All right, so you've got coffee. Are you going to serve the coffee, everything, all day? Well, I guess there's certain laws with beer and stuff, but...
yeah, I think you can actually start serving beer as early as 8 a.m.
Yeah.
So, and we've got 2 hospitals that are within a mile or so of our place. We've got Medical City, and then we've got just down the street Presbyterian. So when these doctors are getting off from their overnight shifts, if they want to come in and have a beer at 8 a.m., our place is going to be the only place they can.
Or just a normal person who wants a beer
or
at 8
just
a.m.
a normal guy, yeah.
But yeah, no, that's awesome. And I guess on Sundays, you've got food, so you can serve them beer as long as they get the food product and stuff before noon. Gosh, the TVC is weird. But that's the law. We follow it. Everyone follows it. So tell me about press sandwiches, paninis. How big is your kitchen? This is more of like
it's hilarious.
As someone with a restaurant,
it's hilarious. It's in front of house, and there's no back of house.
Nice.
There's no hood. There's no flat top. It's just a panini press, an induction burner, a prep table, a couple of fridges with ingredients, and a steel table for cutting and prep and butcher wrapping.
Go to the city of Dallas. That's awesome.
Yep,
that's really cool. So, what's your like ETA? When do you expect to open this?
I keep saying August 10th is probably about what we're shooting for. The city issuing our certificate of occupancy is going to determine when we
It's
actually
not
open.
your exact control. I know
No.
how that goes. So,
But countertops went in yesterday. Draft system is being installed tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday. All the tile and finishes are done. So August 10th, August 15th, somewhere in there.
So, and you're in that really cool. Tell me where it is. I don't, because if I describe it, I'm going to talk about like where the old Dave and Buster's used to be,
Yep.
and they remodeled this whole shopping center. That was my childhood Dave and Buster's. I was so attached to it. They had that for lease. Now I wish I had just leased it and turned it into my own personal game room because it was like a labyrinth arcade. So they've
was
redone
cool.
this whole shopping center. That's where you guys are. Tell me where it is.
Northeast corner of Walnut Hill and 75, and it is, and I'm not just saying this because we're in there, but it is one of the coolest looking shopping centers in all of Dallas-Fort Worth with how they've rehabbed these old buildings, because they're not that old, but the late 70s is when they were built. They used to have these bullnose sort of rounded corner windows.
I'm actually familiar with the shopping center, yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
And now it's mostly all storefront glass, and they've done interesting wood textures, and there's that Corten steel, which is sort of that rusty looking steel, and there's containers. They've turned into a storefront, and they've got murals all over the place. And we actually commissioned a mural of our own that's inside of our space.
Nice,
too.
nice. And there's also that, like, is it Treehouse, that Home Goods that has like the most absurd solar array in the
Yeah,
city
they're
of
totally
Dallas?
off the grid.
That is so crazy.
Yeah,
like
it's amazing.
I drive by that on 75 and I saw it and I was just like, because I know I always look at it because I know that's where y'all are, and I saw them when they were putting that in. It's nuts. I mean, it's a really cool shopping center. I
very
think y'all are
cool
going to do
shop.
great.
Thank you.
All right, so
Let me, why don't I go fetch Sean
Yeah.
Crane, and Sean and Chad. They're probably gonna go eat after this, so I'll
Yeah, great.
leave you two on the microphone.
Cool.
And let you guys interview Sean. I'll go fetch you some players.
sounds good. So what was your experience like during the tournament today?
Today? Oh, man. I mean, these are my friends. These are guys
Right.
I play with all the time. But, getting in was a breeze. Thankfully, the guys at the door knew who I was when I walked in, which was great. I had the shirt on, so that kind
Right.
of helps. But, yeah, it was a great experience. And, I think I have a different perspective because I run events,
Right.
and things have gone very smoothly today. Chris is an amazing TO, though. I mean,
Well,
he's
right.
even stepped in when he's not the TO to do it for
Well,
other
yeah,
people.
he now has he's going to run their Street Fighter 2 tournament here. They're giving away a Rainbow Edition. I don't know where they come up with these ideas. I think I think they get these games in, they make them, and then they're like, man, this isn't going to stick in my permanent collection. We're going to give it away. And so, yeah, they're doing a tournament on a Rainbow Street Fighter 2 in some weird cabinet. But, I mean, you can win an arcade game here tomorrow, and they've asked Chris to do it just because, I mean, he's top notch.
He is.
And he cares so much. And I know he gets, he's always worried, and this is the most stressful time ever because I can tell the difference. I mean, Chris is always wired and ready to go,
Yep.
but I can tell the difference on a tournament day when he is just, he's in the zone. He's going to do everything, and he wants everything to go perfectly. As long as the players cooperate, I'm pretty sure most of his tournaments will run really great.
Absolutely.
All right. So please introduce yourself. You just came in. You're in the winner's bracket finals, we've heard.
Yes. I'm Sean. I go by Sean FPA. I used to go by Sean SRK, but free play is pretty much my home for this game, so I switched the SRK from Shoryuken to FPA for free play arcade.
We definitely appreciate it. So, winner's bracket finals coming up.
Yes.
How has your tournament gone for you? What do you think? Do you think you're doing well? You think you're playing well?
I think I'm playing really well.
Yeah.
I think the nerves seem to only be right before I start playing, and then after that first round, I seem to just
You just forget about it. You're just playing
Right.
Street Fighter.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
and you use music to zone out, right?
I
when
do.
you're
I do.
playing.
Yeah.
So you don't listen to the game noises at all?
I don't.
Man, I'm just gonna start turning them off. I can't. We get all these complaints that they can't hear it over our music. They don't even need it.
I technically should because reaction times are
There's
better.
timing,
but, when me and Chris went to Boston, I actually had a guy start talking to me while I was playing
In a match?
during a match.
Oh
yeah.
no!
Tournament match?
Yes. So ever
Wow.
since then, and another reason is Jerry laughs. So anytime I'm playing Jerry, if I hear his laugh, it'll.
You're talking, of course, of the Jerry.
The Jerry,
When it comes
yes.
to free. I see him at Free Play Richardson probably 3 or 4 nights a week, and he just sits there and he comes early and he wails on kids, parents.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. He's got it doesn't. He'll just sit there and I know he loves the versus city because you don't really look at your opponent.
Right.
So these people will unsuspectingly be like, oh cool, I'm gonna play Street Fighter. He's on the other side just destroying everyone. They'll have people. I mean, people on dates will come up and be like, wow, I just want to play. And they're like, oh, it must be one player, and he's over there secretly just destroying
Right.
this guy's date. It's terrible, but it's hilarious. It's awesome. The Jerry is very noisy, though.
Yes.
That's what we were getting
Yep.
at.
Yes.
So I mean, and of course at free play, a lot of times you're playing, the music's pumping, there's people all around,
Right.
so it's probably, I mean, that's probably how you've trained anyways lately.
Exactly, yeah.
So that's awesome. So you've been kind of like instrumental in pushing our scene forward. You were the one who came to me and was like, you need Japanese cabinets. And I was like, no way. I'm never getting Japanese cabinets. So we have 5 versus cities here at this event. And we have a ton more in storage. We just couldn't get them all ready because it turns out when you get a cabinet in from Tokyo or from Hong Kong, they're not anywhere near ready to be played. And
you've got something like 20 in your coffers or something like that?
Well, we have 20 head-to-head setups. We've got different because most of them are versus, but we also have a lot of Astro cities and Blast cities. Because it's kind of interesting. Our new location in Denton, we can't really fit a versus, but I think we're going to be able to squeeze 2 Astros next to each other,
Cool.
and still be able to get kind of a head-to-head setup. Although, I mean, if anyone in Denton is listening to this, I promise we're not going to waste all that much space on 2-gate because Denton is at capacity open and close right now and has been every single day since they opened. So people,
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's insane. It's awesome.
Because the business that was in there before, they failed, and they were a very established concept, too.
Yeah, and there were all sorts of, and it's kind of crazy because people came to us and they're like, this will never work. And I was like, oh, I don't know. This is our 3rd location. Capacity open to close. They have blown 56 kegs in the 2 weeks they've been open.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It is insane. They are
The
selling.
beer people are going to love you guys.
They are selling more beer than both the other locations.
I would have been there.
Not put together, but they are the actual leading beer seller out of everyone. So, I mean,
people love draft beer.
So clearly that concept is I was missing out for years. That is a great concept. I always knew beer and video games went together. And the craziest thing is we're going to have so many new craft beer drinkers. We have people walk in, they have never had a single craft beer in their life, and all of a sudden they're faced with a wall of like 50 relatively. I mean, we have most of a lot of the heavy hitters that come through, but we have 30 or 40 relatively obscure beers every time. So it's it's a good introduction, and we also have Super Turbo there. Did y'all both go to Tuesday Night Fights yet? Over there?
I did.
I have not.
I did.
It's so it was tough because it was on the Astro, right?
Yeah.
It's a tiny little Japanese cabinet, and now we have the verses at the 2 locations.
I'm not a tiny little guy either.
And,
So.
I can only imagine. Like I watched some of the videos, and it's small. We're gonna try to get a head-to-head kind of setup, but Sean was the guy who really was the very first push that just said, if you want to be taken seriously, you have to. And I was still like, there's no way they'll play what I tell them to. No, I was wrong. I was totally wrong. That was ridiculous of me. And now we have really nice Japanese cabs.
Well, I think there were 15 or 20 of us that were all sort of screaming like, "Hey, Corey, do this, do this."
It was definitely
sure.
it was deafening. The amount of people that wanted this, but I remember Chris brought Sean, and he was just like, Corey wants to bring in Japanese players, and Sean was like, you need Japanese cabinets or else they will not come. They will not touch your crap.
They would not play on people.
And so I was like, all right. I eventually, I acquiesced. We got them. It's awesome. And so that was, I think, a big change for free play, and it has, brought about, I think, help the growth, which is kind of neat because free plays as a company has been able to grow with the Super Turbo community. Like, we've all become more serious about it, and I think that's really neat. Because, I don't even know if we opened day one. I mean, obviously everyone would have loved having, a Versus City day one, but it was kind of nice. It was kind of neat having everyone grow up together.
No, it was probably the right way to do it.
I agree. Even though I wanted it from day one, I think.
Well, and, that's what's really crazy is there are other arcades that existed that had, similar business models to Free Play. Free Play has had a little unique twist with the Free Play model and alcohol, but everywhere I'd ever gone, Big Blue, and I talked to every single arcade operator. I talked to every single Big Blue was like the arcade standard. And that was, and then of course that's Capcom's standard too, and they love their Big Blues.
Oh yeah.
So that was totally what I thought was gonna. I thought we'd have them forever. I mean, we still have Big Blues, and I still think they're really fun to play on. But I thought that would be it forever. Now we're at Versus Cities. We're here. We're at Let's Play Game Expo, and it's been amazing. We're running a Super Turbo tournament. Chris Delp is running it. How long did it take? Has it been moving pretty quickly? Did pool play move? Has it been timely, or have y'all been playing pretty much constantly since noon?
We played constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, what was the? How many people did we get in here?
I wanna say
20 or so.
36.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, there were 36.
Wow. that was a nice little. I remembered like the pre number, which was kind of hard to figure out how to register for it. We tried to figure out all these different ways because we are technically part of Kumite in Texas, which is good. We want to be because we wanted Super Turbo to be recognized as on the same level competition wise as the newer games, the sponsored games, the Street Fighter V. And I mean, honestly, that's a great attendance. That's probably exactly the right number given y'all played basically right up to it. So. Were there any surprises? Is anyone knocked out that you didn't expect to be knocked out at this point that you thought was going to make it to the Final Four?
Rob.
I thought Rob, yeah.
Yeah.
Rob and Yuki or Enforcer.
And Enforcer was a big one, actually.
Yeah.
Enforcer was top 4 at Showdown, which was a bigger field than here, and it was a Tournament of Legends qualifier. And Enforcer was playing on a pad at that event, and he's a pad player. We noticed some execution errors when we were doing the stream. He just couldn't get his dragon punches working right.
Well, that's a crucial move. That's crucial to defense. It's all sorts of. So Yuki, the third strike player. A top third strike player.
Oh, yeah.
And he's pretty good at Super Turbo too.
He's pretty damn good.
I played him at Free Play Richardson, and he just destroying me. I'm not good at Street Fighter, but he was. I know the difference between someone who's just barely beating me and someone who's just destroying me. He was destroying me. So that is pretty surprising. And then Rob, resident Chun-Li player, right? And he made it pretty deep into the spring series, isn't that right?
Yep.
Yeah,
he did.
And he made it pretty deep in Boston. Those are the only. He went to Boston, right?
He did. Yep.
And he did okay there, right?
Yeah.
He competed pretty well. So
He also went to. Did he go to Florida?
He was a combo breaker.
Combo Breaker. He did
In
go
Chicago.
to Combo Breaker. Chicago. Yep.
So wow, that is surprising. Then,
Yeah.
what happened? Let's go through the three and let's kind of talk about. We talked about the execution errors.
I think the single focal point is the same person, and that's the guy that surprised everyone in top 4 because he beat all 3 of them.
Doughboy?
That's Carlos.
Oh,
Carlos.
Okay.
Carlos knocked Yuki and Carlos.
Carlos beat Yuki, Rob, and he didn't play Enforcer. But he beat Rob and Yuki.
Wow.
Who did Enforcer lose to?
Um,
I'm trying to remember. Was it Yuki?
maybe it was Yuki.
I think it was.
Wow, that's really.
Yeah.
Carlos is coming along.
Yeah, he is.
The power of boxer. Do you love seeing him do well as a boxer player?
It's funny because he plays. There's some things he tries to do that I do, and then there's some things he does completely different.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
well, that's the beauty of Super Turbo, right? Because people are still figuring this game out in their own way. People are still. The Japanese scene's super sad, but here everyone's just trying to. It's like a total new learning experience, and I think it's really neat because you have people that are doing stuff that have probably existed. I assume in the 20 plus years that this game has existed, what we're all doing is exactly what other people were doing in the past. But
Yes.
we're discovering it for the first time. That's really special. That's really amazing. Okay, so what do you do special? Do you do anything special to prep for a tournament? Did you come to free play a little extra? Did you practice?
I did come to free play. I always come to free play. It's the only way. I generally look at the brackets, and I try to figure out who I might play, and then I try to play them a few times if they're local players. And
We only had a pretty big practice session on Thursday.
Thursday we did.
Yeah.
The other things that I'll do is I will watch videos at home, and I'll just literally watch a 2-minute clip and spend 30 minutes just pausing, rewinding it, checking the spacing, taking screenshots.
Well, because the whole game is in the timing, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Relatively limited in terms of the amount of moves available. Because you got some modern games that have a move list that's 80 deep, and
Right.
But here it's relatively limited. It's all down to timing, which I think is why people who watch Super Turbo or Street Fighter 2 game matches that don't really play, not only do they know the characters because Street Fighter is a world brand, but you can really pick up on. You don't know the nuances going on in front of you, but you can really kind of pick up on how the game is being played. And
It's easy to follow.
I think that's what one of the reasons I love it so much is when we have a Super Turbo event at the arcade and we've got it on the big screen. People, just all sorts of people are watching it. All sorts of people understand what's going on, and I think that's awesome. Without even really knowing what's going on, right? Because if they're watching a top tier player, when we had players from Japan come and just their level of the game, they're thinking about the game is so insane. Plus, not to mention, they've had a scene for 27 straight years or whatever.
It's amazing.
I think my favorite moment at Spring Series is right when Oto-chan won the tournament, and they panned to the crowd, and there's probably like 40 people that we know who are there, and then there's like an extra 50 people that were just standing around. And it's like I've never seen them before again, but they were all like just glued to the screen watching.
It's all about the spectacle, and I mean I think I'm really happy about the timing of this tournament because this is a perfect this is the summer Super Turbo tournament, sponsored by Civil 4, and we're gonna hop off. We're here at Let's Play Gaming Expo. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back with y'all. We gotta change some memory cards and stuff, and so we're signing off for right now, but we will be right back.
Awesome.
Hey, we're back. It's me, Sean Crane. I'm here. No longer.
Wow, how did that happen? That's
What?
amazing.
Oh, wait, I'm Chris Delp.
All right, so are we going to clap again, or are we actually live? Is this what we're doing? We're doing this now?
We're doing live?
Should we
We're good,
start?
right?
Are we starting?
Are y'all on?
Yeah.
Are we doing? All right, we're here. We're live. We're at Let's Play Gaming Expo. We've got Kumite in Texas behind us. We're talking about our Super Turbo tournament. This is a big event. All right, so Chris.
Yes.
You're not Sean Crane.
I'm
Let's
not
go
Sean
ahead
Crane.
and let's
I'm Chris Delp,
reintroduce just
tournament
for a quick
organizer Chris Delp of Free Play Arcade. I'm back because Sean is eating with Chad and getting ready for his top 4 experience.
True.
But we're being joined by our play-by-play guy, Jeremy Withers, also top competitor Jeremy Withers. Also, I want to talk about a special match that happened. You may or may not remember this, but this guy remembers it.
Trying to block
At
it
our
on my mind.
Spring Series $5,000 ST tournament, we had pools on Saturday and then the top 24 on Sunday. The last match of pools was Jeremy Withers right here beside me against a player, an excellent player from Oklahoma by the name of Enforcer.
Right.
Comes out, supports the Dallas scene like a lot of players do. Enforcer got the best of you that day.
He did.
In the last match of the day, went on to finals,
To get to top 32, yeah.
except he had to go home. So he actually dropped right there. He beat Jeremy Withers, and he dropped.
I had no idea about this story. That's insane.
Yeah, it's cool, right? I just love hearing this story every time.
Oh, yeah.
It happened. It happened. He got
Rubs it
you could
in.
say he got second place of pools that day.
He says, "Go."
And everybody else advanced. So roll it to
Hate you.
today.
Hey,
Jeremy Withers.
I just realized something.
Go.
We've got a ton of cables on this table
We
that
do.
we never addressed. We've been streaming all day. Y'all have been streaming all day.
Yeah.
The Super Turbo tournament here. This is the remnants of the stream.
Correct. The impromptu podcast.
We are podcasting everywhere and anywhere we can. So that is why it looks like a mess. But let's get back to the brutal defeat of the
Yes.
Spring Series.
Okay. So very,
Just love
very
the story
brutal.
so much.
Yes.
Okay, so
There's a redemption arc, though.
Jeremy played wild and crazy against this pad player who decided to pick up a stick. Lost last match of the day.
Was not
And
happy.
then, came back and did play-by-play and really did us well in that way. But as a player, had to kind of stew there for a while.
Just a little salty about it. Just
Yes.
a little bit.
Enforcer came back. He's here today.
Yes.
we
And,
actually, y'all couldn't hear. We were actually just discussing him as one of the surprise defeats.
Okay.
As one of the potential finalists who did not make it.
Right. Yeah. In fact, I had considered having him as the number 1 seed. Jesse showed up last minute, so he wasn't seeded yesterday. And I felt like Sean Crane and Raging Storm X and Enforcer all deserved some sort of claim to the number 1 seed.
All very good players.
Yeah. So I want to say it was Carlos who got an Enforcer out of the winners bracket.
That's a good question. I don't remember who
I don't
knocked
recall.
him
But-
to
Well,
losers.
according to what we just said, Carlos did not knock Enforcer out. Carlos did take Yuki out.
He did in the losers bracket. He went on a run
Yeah.
in the
And
losers bracket.
geez, and now I can't.
He got knocked into the losers bracket by Doughboy, and they're about to have a rematch.
Yes. Top 4.
Yes.
I just saw Richard from Free Play. If y'all could go grab him, he's over there. If y'all could go, he has the prize money. So
I have the
He
prize
has the
money.
prize.
wait, how'd you do that?
Magic
Bam.
trick.
Money.
Okay, cool. Never mind.
We robbed him, actually.
I don't know
and
what's
took it.
going on.
All
I
right.
just saw Richard from Free Play. That was a surprise.
So
awesome
Jeremy
part of
finds
being
himself
live.
in the losers bracket. Enforcer unexpectedly finds himself in the losers bracket, and we have 1 match to go for the day. One last match. And once again, it is Jeremy Withers and Enforcer. Winner stays, loser goes home.
Yep.
Or possibly winner and loser go home. And I guess I'll let you take it over.
Yeah, so it was literally the last match of that pool. So whoever wins that match is going into top 8, which we did shortly after that. But I played Enforcer again. It was my chance to redeem myself, and redeem myself I did. I beat him 2-0, knocked him out of the tournament.
Wow.
Very patient,
Yeah, I played.
clinical.
Honestly, and I told him, I was talking to him earlier, it's like whenever you knocked me out of the last tournament, that's one of the matches that I've actually gone back and studied the most out of anything that I've played, because I played so poorly and so impatient. That's one of the games where, and I think I've talked to you about it, I've talked to guys like Nate and Haas about it. I was like, that was the match where I realized a lot of what I was doing wrong. Like, I had a epiphany during that match, basically. I was like, watching back, I was like, I know exactly why I lost this game, and I know what I need to change.
Yeah, I remember you saying it right at the moment it happened, and then I had to deliver the news that, oh yeah, by the way,
he's not playing anymore.
He said peace out.
So were you, when you realized you were going to be in the same pool as Enforcer, and you kind of realized that this match was coming, were you like amped about it, or were you like, oh crap, not again?
I'm not gonna lie. So we walked in around the same time and picked up our badge this morning. And so I was kind of talking to him. I was like, hey, man, it's good to see you again. I want to play you some more. We played a bit down at Texas Showdown because he was down there, too. Didn't get a really chance to play him much there. But, I'm not going to lie. It's like I want a chance to play him again in bracket. I want to play him in tournament, and I want to run it back, and I want to redeem myself. And it had to happen the exact same, basically, situation last game to get into the next step of the brackets.
I mean, you play for a run back like that, but you usually don't get a run back in the exact same scenario.
Yeah.
I've never had that happen before.
That's amazing.
Unless it's the final, right?
Yeah.
It's the grand final against you again. That's happened before.
Yeah, it was honestly, all the pieces fell into place, and when I got knocked into losers by Rob, I kind of went on my own run, similar to Carlos did. Took out a couple good players, and I met up with him, and then I heard, hey, by the way, winner of this goes on to top 8. And so, yeah, of course.
I didn't want to tell you.
I know, but the thing, I kind of figured it out there. I was like, we're deep in the brackets. It's got to be close to it.
Yeah.
And so
I didn't want to be like, hey, by the way, it's the exact same scenario that you lost in. By the way.
Once I got there, though, I was just like, I didn't really panic or anything. I was like, I wanted this. This is what I want. If I'm going to get top 8, I have to earn it, and this is the way I'm going to do it. That was kind of my mentality going into it.
Okay, so then following up, how'd you get eliminated from the tournament? What happened?
Carlos. I was part of his miraculous run through the tournament.
I mean, no offense to anyone else, I am going to be rooting for Carlos in the rest of his matches. I mean, not only because he's like the newest player, he really is like the most amateur player that's still left. But I see him practicing every day because he works in the same place I work, so I get to see him there grinding it.
He's playing the best I've ever seen him play, and I've been playing with him for like a year now.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I think that, and it's one of those things too, since we play each other so much, we kind of understand kind of our tendencies and whatnot, but he pretty much completely just wrecked me. Like, he dissected me. I mean,
everyone is just saying that he is just like, his game right now is totally elevated. You know, when I walked in, and I've already said this, so I won't go into it. I walked in, I didn't realize he was about to play. He was so nervous. He was so
he's not showing it on the sticks, that's for sure.
But the thing is, he's a really emotional player and an emotional guy. Like, he's not afraid to show it. Maybe he is afraid to show it, and he'll show his own fear. But, like, everybody senses those emotions and how real Carlos brings it at all times, and he is definitely one of our community leaders. So everybody roots for him unless, you're on the end of his boxer super.
Yeah,
and he's also a great guy. So
exactly.
It's so easy to root for him.
The smiles just at seeing Carlos win are ear to ear from everybody.
Okay, so who's he playing in the losers bracket?
He is playing Doughboy, the same guy who knocked him into losers.
It's a
so
close
it's a
set,
rematch.
Wow.
And it's a boxer mirror.
Yeah.
Wow.
Potentially. He could go claw.
Yeah.
But he might.
Carlos is boxer character specialist. He used to play Blanca way back in the day. Way back in
he's
2
not
years
going to
ago.
play Blanca.
That's gone.
But Doughboy, he has a lot of experience, a lot of matchup knowledge. He can play claw. He has played claw in this tournament. I don't know if he's played
too.
Yeah, he did play Osagai. He played Osagai. He just walked up and Osagai was already selected. And he's like, yeah, whatever, I'll play this. And he won.
Nice. All right, so let's change it up a little bit. Have y'all been able to, I know you've been busy with Super Turbo. Have y'all been able to keep any track of what's going on with the rest of the Kumite tournaments?
I've been keeping my eye on some of the major stage events going on. Like, I'm a big fan of Dragon Ball Fighters. I'm terrible at it, but I love watching good Tekken. So I'm watching that as I see it. Pretty good crowd for it over here.
Well, yeah, someone told me that the Tekken tournament here is like all the Tekken heads are watching it as maybe it's going to be the game's kind of like coming back, starting to get the players again.
It has, honestly, I think it's the only game that increased in players last EVO to this year. So it's steadily growing.
Wow, and everyone thought it might get eliminated from EVO this year. That's crazy.
Namco's putting a lot of support into it, too. They're putting a lot of money. They've got the Tekken World Tour. I don't know if this event is part of it, but I think it has like a 100-player bracket here for the first year of Kumite in Texas. This is primarily like low-tier cities of Smash Brothers event, so Kumite kind of tagged onto it.
They had like 800 Smash players.
Yeah, there's a ton.
Which is crazy because I mean
the setups over there, just CRTs
everywhere.
That was the game I played in high school. Like
I just see you like Batman with the CRTs.
It's amazing that just the game support, and they've got a new game coming out, so you can kind of see like everyone thought finally Smash was going to slowly, and then Nintendo makes the announcement. Everyone's getting hyped about it again.
Nintendo cannot kill Smash even if they tried, and they have tried.
It's true.
It prints money for them.
Nintendo doesn't actually even have to support Smash.
No, and they don't.
I mean, gosh, could you imagine how much money they'd make if they reissued a GameCube controllers?
They're doing that, but if
they're not.
If they did a
Really?
they did it for Smash 4, and they're doing it for the Switch version too. You can just buy a GameCube controller that plugs right in.
I guarantee you. So we've got a ton of vendors here. I guarantee you, every vendor will just kill, because I've talked to vendors about GameCube controllers, and that's like gold. That is gold. They'll buy GameCubes. They'll be like, okay, cool, I got a GameCube, and then they have the controllers that are in good condition. Just, I mean, $60, $70. It's ridiculous.
It's wild. There's a new group of fighters that play with a stick that has no stick at all. It's just all buttons.
Oh, yeah.
And then they have, with the GameCube controllers, I read about it one time, and I'm not terribly familiar with Smash Tech, but there's a type of like wire malfunction that happens in a certain percentage of GameCube controllers, which is used in an advanced technique.
Yeah, they want that because it has something to do with the way they can. I don't know if it has to do with wave dashing or a certain other technique, but either way, yeah, they want that because it increases their chances.
So you need a properly broken GameCube controller, and that makes, if it is broken in that way, then it is way more valuable.
That's so
and
amazing.
you can have people selling them here for
like $100+, I bet.
It's the rarest of the rare.
Yeah.
Wow.
People like they base businesses on like controller mods, skins, but they also do repairs just right here on venue, and they charge money for it. So
All
I'm
right,
gonna
so
go
we've got
fetch our next guest. So you two stay at it.
All right.
In the meantime, have you had a chance to check out the shops while you've been here?
Yeah, while I was waiting for my pool to start, I also kicked off commentary with the first pool, but I kind of took a walk around. I took a look at the vendors. There's art vendors here. There's classic game vendors, cosplayers showing off their stuff.
And so for posterity, when we look back at this event, one of the important and interesting things to remember is there are 3 major Texas retro gaming conventions happening on the same weekend.
Right.
And I know the event organizers have received all sorts of criticism, but anyone who's ever tried to schedule one of these things, you take what the venue has available and then you announce. And it was total luck of the draw. And I know they were all in communication before they all announced, but then it just turned out this was the only weekend that worked for all of them.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've noticed, there's like conventions almost every week. It seems like there is constant activity now.
Yeah.
So like I know they have a few less vendors than they normally do here, but it's really cool just to be able to walk around. Especially like the people who are hand making different things, the shirt printers who are designing shirts and printing on the fly. I thought that was really cool.
People drawing their next print that they're going to sell right there.
Yeah, it's really neat. And of course, you've got all of you can find how many? What was the total NES game? I bet every NES game is probably. I mean, except for maybe stadium events or whatever. The $1 billion game is. All right, Jerry, welcome. The Jerry is here.
Hey, Jerry.
What's happening?
So, you played some Super Turbo today. Give us a quick rundown. What happened? How'd it go?
I fought Ryu, and bad things happen.
Who'd you lose? So who knocked you out? Who'd you lose to?
This guy.
What? Are you kidding me?
Why'd you bring him on here? He's going to beat me up on camera.
So you're are you a Ryu main? I didn't.
Yeah, I'm a Ryu
actually,
man. Yeah.
I took one of the matches, so it was nice.
but-
I'll cherish that one match.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like in our pool, there were at least 8 Ryu players.
We had the Ryu clip.
Yeah, you had to.
So, as a arcade owner, the reason I play Ryu is probably the same reason a lot of people do. He's on everyone. He's on every single game.
Sure.
So once I learn the moves, I know the moves.
He's Mr. Street Fighter,
right?
You know,
Yeah. So that's actually so I don't embarrass myself because people come up and they make me play all sorts of random Street Fighter games, and I never know what. So is he considered middle tier in Super Turbo?
He's probably like the upper mid type of thing.
Okay.
He's got a lot of really good tools, but he has some matchups that he loses. I think it's funny because he's like, that's Super Turbo is like the only game I play Ryu, and usually I play grapplers. Like I play the guys that throw you around and stuff like that. So I don't know, something with him, he just feels good to play him in the game.
He's
honestly.
got a great fireball.
Yeah,
that's all I do is sit there and I spam it until they get close, and then I Shuriken, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's basically my
That's
strategy.
how you beat Honda. So
It's true.
So you're a Honda player.
Yeah.
Lots of tough matchups for Honda.
Lots of good ones, too, though.
That's true. That's true, though. It's kind of like a 50-50 game. I mean, so Honda's just a smasher, right? I mean, he's just all about punching and hitting and doing loads of damage with. And that, I mean,
He's a swarmer.
who was it? I don't remember which game I played. It was one of the more modern games, and what shocked me was how little damage all the moves did. Like
probably maybe Street Fighter. If you're talking about Honda, maybe Street Fighter 4.
Maybe so. I bet that is exactly what I. But it blows me away because as they got a little bit more modern, in Street Fighter 5, I think kind of went back on it, but. Like Super Turbo, a match can be over really fast.
Yeah,
your health bar is low, and there are a lot of high damage moves that most characters have, I guess, except like Cammy and whatever.
makes
He's
it
got some
fun.
damage stuff, though.
Well, what's really fun is when you find a good Cammy player.
Shout out to Silent Scope.
And
What's
all
up,
of
man?
a sudden you're getting your ass kicked, and you thought you were going to win.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, Cammy, they must suck.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're doing it, and you're just like, oh, my God, I'm embarrassed. But
Now we had a Cammy player here today, Arthur from VGP. He plays a little bit of Cammy.
Does he?
He played mostly Chun, so he sold his soul, but he does have a pocket Cammy.
Ray
so.
Upshaw, he plays Cammy.
He plays a little bit Cammy. Yeah, Ray plays some Cammy too. So she's making maybe a comeback. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, no, that's the great thing about Super Turbo is once you find your player, it's all about just getting as good as possible with that player. I mean, learning matchups and stuff. But people who love their player, that's who they are. They want to just make that person good, even if it's Cammy, and they just get their ass kicked all the time.
Takes a lot more work for some characters than others. And
Actually,
Cammy's one of
Ray
it.
compared like Cammy to the Dan of the Street Fighter 2.
I wouldn't go that far, but if there's a Dan tier, she might
He's
be.
like he cherishes every win because he has to earn them.
Right. That's probably pretty good for like a new player who's never going to get super serious about it.
Yeah.
That's when you win, you just embarrass the person you're playing.
And if you want to just pick up the easiest character to pick up and start getting wins with, it's Claw, hands down.
Oh, I know. Claw is the cheapest character.
The
in the
poker.
So compared him to like the work you got to put in with Cammy, it's completely different.
I find Fei Long more annoying, but Claw and Fei Long, they're just.
Claw is universally hated, though. Nobody likes that character.
Claw
so.
is-
I like to fight. He's fun.
Well, you're nuts, man. That's because you're insane. But
All right, so 2 pools today. After pools, what was it? Top 8 came
Top
out of
8, yeah.
pools. So pools eliminated quite a few players.
we did. We had some good players that got knocked out. Yeah.
So you had 36 players that showed up to play.
Yeah, I believe it was
Is that
somewhere around
right?
the 40-ish range.
So,
I didn't see
yeah,
the final
so-
number, but
So yeah, a single day tournament, you have to make some pretty serious cuts pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Then top 8. Now we're at top 4. We've got the finals coming up. What do you think it means for Super Turbo to get to go onto the main stage to be streamed? And you're going to be doing the commentary,
I'll
right?
be doing commentary. Yeah.
So to be streamed on the main stage next to the big sponsored games that are and shout out to Civil Poor who sponsors this event.
Absolutely.
But the games that are sponsored by their creators, the Capcom supporting Street Fighter V, Capcom will never support Super Turbo. We know that because
Old
it's
game.
okay. It's
Old
fine.
game, yeah.
They can't make any money on it
Yeah,
except
yeah.
for re-releasing it. Whatever, doesn't matter. So what do you think it means for Super Turbo to be on the big stage here at Kumite?
Yeah, I think it's so this is primarily it's a Smash Brothers event, right?
Right.
So and then you've also got Kumite. It's their first year here. They're usually in Tennessee, so it's cool to see them come down and throw a tournament tacked onto here. They got a pretty good turnout too. There's like 100-man Tekken bracket.
Well, yeah, they expected. I think they got about what they expected. Like that, they had high expectations, and I think they met them. And obviously, they came with a nice pro setup. Lots and lots of consoles, lots and lots of screens.
I've been busy with the Super Turbo stuff, but honestly, the setup here is pretty nice. Like I'd say, like you get like Chris said, waves of CRTs back there. For
that was
Smash
actually
Brothers.
that's my favorite thing because we're preparing for our little fighting game convention next spring, where we're going to try to bring out just like the widest array of fighters. It's not going to be a big focus on any one except for Super Turbo. Right. Super Turbo is going to be the star, but we're going to try to bring as many weird, obscure, and just have. So we've been buying CRTs, and when I saw this, I was like, "This is awesome! How did y'all?" And of course, they've been doing this for years.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, this is like year 8 or 9 for low tier city.
Yeah, and Melee is one of those games too. It's like kind of similar to Super Turbo. It's got like that fanatical group that loves it. I mean, it's bigger for Melee.
They
for
really
sure.
love it.
But I mean, that's a GameCube. What it's like 14, 13 years old now,
Right.
and they're still that's like a 300-person bracket for this here.
Well,
so.
and I'm a little jealous because they can just buy unlimited $20 Wii's,
That's
and I'm sitting here trying to figure out how we're going to do this big, huge fighting game thing. I'm buying all these obscure games that cost like thousands of dollars, and they're like, nah, like $50 we got to set up. I'm like, no, that's so cool. I mean, and it's really cool too because obviously they have a ton of support still. Melee is a huge game, and what blows me away though is people are still playing like Smash 4.
Well, Smash 64 even had a side event here too, and a pretty big size bracket too. So. There's
Everybody
a lot of love
forgets
for it.
though that the combos came from this game, from Street Fighter. We brought combos
you
to fighting.
You know what? You should go talk to all these teenagers and tell them how much they owe.
Get off our
They have
lawn.
no idea.
Get off our lawn, kids.
If it wasn't for Street Fighter, y'all wouldn't be anything.
It's true though.
But
Grandpa style fighting. It's awesome.
Yeah, in terms of your top 4 thing, though, just trying to kind of finish that statement, I think it's really cool that they're giving us that little 1 hour there to show off the top 4, the best talent that was here today, and give us a little bit of the spotlight. So.
Well, and what's kind of cool is we've seen, and it's kind of contrary to a lot of our what we would have expected. 9 p.m. Saturday is actually a great time for viewers.
Yeah.
Because it's that transitory period where a lot of people are home. They might be going out later, but you're going to get a nice view count. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
That's really exciting just because we're here. Like, we've built a nice Super Turbo community. I mean, the biggest in the U.S., according to everyone else. I don't actually. Every time I make a statement like that, someone's like, "I don't know, man," and I'm like, "I don't know." But what I wanted to talk about really quick was how kind of cool low tier city feels. Like they've really captured like both a community atmosphere, but totally pro.
Yeah.
Like Kumite is amazing, but they've got it down to like a science.
Yeah.
Low tier, it feels like you're like in your buddy's room playing,
Yeah.
but it's the best players in the country, and that's really hard to do. And I'm really impressed. That's really just shocked me.
Yeah,
being here.
I guess I didn't realize how big it had gotten. Like, I knew it was a big Texas tournament, but when I saw names on the list like Hungrybox, Leffen, Armada, those are like the top cream of the crop Smash players, and they're here today playing.
They're playing King of the Mountain with fucking Nintendo. It's like King of the Mountain. They're hanging from a wall to
Don't
fight.
let them hear you say that. Jared.
I don't
Once
hate.
again,
I just judge.
this is the Free Play Arcade podcast.
Yeah.
We are available on all major podcast stations. Wherever you get them, make sure you hit subscribe. But we're here. We're in Let's Play Gaming Expo, which is
That's
this. I
awesome.
mean, there's so much to do here. So in addition to these massive Smash things, and we've actually been involved all 4 years that Let's Play has been in existence in a variety of ways. Obviously, our involvement's been gearing up, and now we're we've got like 30 games here, 30 or I think we have 32 arcade games here, including 5 versus cities.
Yes, beautiful sight.
Which people are so stoked about,
Yeah.
like that. And we brought in some pretty funky. We have Super Turbo, but we brought in some kind of funky Street Fighter or fighting games that we don't normally feature.
Saw some Plasma Sword over there.
And Plasma Sword's a huge hit. That's so cool to see.
Yeah.
But
pretty awesome.
But the great thing is, anything on a versus city, people are like, I just want to play
I
it.
just wanna play
They're
it, yeah.
going to test it out, and then once they get into it, I mean, the layout's great. It is the ultimate fighting game cabinet, and we were trying to get like 10 or 15 ready for this event, and then I don't even know if they would have wanted that many.
Yeah.
But we saw that awesome photo of that Chris had from Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a great arcade setup, so that kind of inspired us to go ahead and get more verses out. Now I know, of course, everyone's going to be like, why don't we have like 6 verses in each arcade? And it's a whole science.
we can.
It's a whole science to the to getting everything. But we do have Super Turbo now on both on versus at both Richardson and Arlington.
Yes.
We've got it on an Astro in Denton, and if you've ever been to Denton, you know why it's on an Astro City. Denton is small. We're working hard. We don't know what we're going to do. We didn't expect it to be that popular. So
Cool little site, though. I've been there a couple times.
isn't it
so,
neat?
Yeah.
It's a really
And
cool arcade.
That's a lot of beer on the wall there too.
And,
so.
well, yeah,
It's in the first month, right?
Yeah, we're in week 2, I think. And yeah, we've been in occupancy, open and close. It is insane. But so we're here at Let's Play. There's all sorts of things to do. I want to make sure we talk about a little bit of everything. We had the vendors we kind of discussed. We've got
Cosplay.
We've got low tiers. There's like a pretty big cosplay. Like the first year, I don't think they had that many participants, and now it's like a big thing here.
Well, even Chase and Desiree brought their new son up dressed up as Ryu and
Nice.
entered him in the contest. so-
Nice.
There's an Ewok walking around in a fur carpet
Well,
that's probably going to have a heat stroke outside.
I don't know if y'all saw the little R2D2.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
That was actually, we had that at Free Play Richardson show up like our second month open, and I was like, I know we're doing something right because there's an R2D2 walking around. So we have Low Tier City, we've got Kumite. Upstairs, we haven't talked about. I want to give a quick shout out. They've got a sick collection of obscure consoles, computers. I think it's technically sponsored by the National Video Game Museum, who are huge friends of Free Play. We've got some huge announcements coming up with them in the near future. And they've got all sorts of really cool stuff up there, both out of their collection, out of the community's collection. And it's just, this is a really cool event. This is truly a Let's Play type event. You get to experience all facets of gaming. You can play just about every old school game you'd expect. It's the best arcade lineup, probably. I mean, for an arcade nerd, this is it.
Yeah,
People are friendly. They'll show you how to do what you want to do.
Right.
This is how I beat you. It's great.
Well, no, it's been really awesome. And then we've had the Super Turbo tournament here.
And
So-
tomorrow there's the Rainbow Edition tournament as
So
well.
yeah, they're giving away. We
Broken.
talked about that earlier.
That's
the most
awesome.
absurd. Well, and this is how I know that we're all cut from the same cloth with the people that we partner. They just want absurdity. They just wanted
got it.
They wanted something that was the most absurd thing they could come up with. Boom, you can win Rainbow Edition Street Fighter 2, which I will throw out. It's not as pure as Super Turbo. It's not the same game at all.
At all.
But man, if you had like a game room that was just going to be like your general game room, that would be a ridiculous version to have. That is a popcorn Street Fighter.
That
They
is
made the
there.
slowest character, Dawson, have light speed.
Yeah,
he is
it's
literally
supersonic.
the fastest character.
Well, and of course you can put a different Street Fighter in there if you
Well,
want.
no, if
but-
you don't want to play him anymore, you just hit the start button and then boom, you're somebody
Yeah,
else. So.
it's-
Only game you switch fighting characters mid-game.
No, I mean it's totally broken. It's totally absurd. But it's a cool thing to do.
It's definitely fun. It's a party
Well,
game.
I don't know. Are either of y'all planning to try to enter and try to win it?
I don't know if I'm going to be in here. I was playing it. I don't know if I could, as a Super Turbo kind of, I don't know if I want to say purist, but somebody that plays it, I don't know if I could like stomach it long enough to be
wow.
like,
If they're still
a little
doing
too,
sign up, I'll do it.
It's a
It
little
sounds
too
fun.
Well,
a
because
little
you know
too crazy for me.
Chris Delp, who was here earlier on the podcast, he used to come to this as not an employee of Free Play, and he would win. I mean, he's won arcades here.
Right.
He's won all, and so now he's not. He's kind of restricted as an employee of Free
Yeah.
Play. So I know he's kind of sad because this was like where he won his stuff. He would come and still show he was a top tier gamer. So I mean, he's a top tier gamer. Anyways, we love him. He's a top tier tournament director.
He did a great job today. Great
And
job.
So coming up soon, you can check it out online. We've got the Final Four on the main stage of Kumite. When
some
you
free
watch
play
this
reps.
podcast, you will be able to go watch it, the Final Four, on their feed. Just search Kumite in Texas. It will be saved. You're going to be on commentary.
doing commentary with Chase Cole.
We're about to figure out how we're going to get a big, huge. I mean, they're measuring. They're trying to figure out how the Versus City is going to get up there. It's 700 pounds.
You want to go? We can lift it, right? You want to?
Oh, yeah, y'all two will handle it. Y'all each have
They slide really
That's
easy.
true.
up,
Yeah,
I
you would know
noticed.
that. Yeah.
Y'all have 350 pounds each to lift.
Whatever.
Get your squats down,
Come on.
and then you got it. The real
Between the two
problem
of
here,
us.
the stage is so high. You have to squat it up, and then you have to curl the damn machine. It's
Oof.
gonna be so hard. So
I think worth it. Super Turbo is worth it. It's worth it.
Obviously, I look bigger on screen. but I'm not-
So we're here. Let's play. We're about to sign off. We really appreciate everyone who watched this podcast. Again, we are available on all major podcast networks. Everything is so messy because we've been streaming all day. In the meantime, this is it. We're leaving. We're going to go set up for the grand finals of the Super Turbo. We're bringing it back. We're totally proud of our community. Till next time, this is the Free Play Arcade Podcast, and we are out.